Hey everyone, it's Kathy Champion again, and I'm your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Gastonia, North Carolina. Welcome to my channel. I hope that when you come in, have a sit down and just kick your feet up, and we're going to do some crafting. And I'm hoping that I will inspire you, and hopefully you will see something that you really want to do. Today I am going to feature, and that's what I normally like to do, I like to feature one item. This is called the Gift Wrap Bundle. It comes with this gift bow builder along with this beautiful stamp set. The stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set. And here we go. I think it's just lovely. I'm going to turn this over and hold this up so you can see it a little closer. But it is bows and a little small tag. The tag is what gives me my idea of what I want to do. I played with this a little earlier, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to leave my host code right here, and let me explain that real quick for anyone that's new. If you shop at my Stampin' Up! Website and you spend $50 or more, $50 to $149.99 before shipping and handling, and use this as your host code, you will get a free gift from me. Now, if you spend over $150 or above before shipping and tax, don't use the host code, because you will get free gifts yourself. So that's a little incentive from Stampin' Up! So, you know, some people like to wait and spend a lot of money at one time, which is really kind of nice, because with Stampin' Up! You'll earn free product. You will pay less in shipping than you would if you made smaller orders. So it's kind of a win-win. So, you know, think about that when you're placing your orders, and it's always a good thing. But use that host code if it's a $50 order up to $149.99, and that will tag me to let me know that you need to receive a free gift from me. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to put this out of my way. That will be listed in the video below, so you can copy and paste that host code when you order. But this this punch, I really love it. It is so neat what it does. And today I was playing with this, and I was using this particular stamp, which I do need to clean. Let me grab my my Stampin' Scrub, because I was playing with it just a moment ago, and I thought I need to come on and do this video really quick and show y'all what I learned. And I'm pretty sure I already knew this, but it really came home to me when I was working with this stamp, because I was doing some coloring, and you know, we all have little boo-boos when we do our coloring. Y'all will probably look at that and say that's perfect, but I know where my imperfections are, and I'm actually, this is not something I would normally do, but I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool, because I want to point out my boo-boos. If you look right here, you'll see that I had some bleeding of my red into the green, and probably right in here was a little bleed, and I wasn't happy with that. Now don't get me wrong, this is as cute as it can be, and probably most people wouldn't notice that unless you did point it out. But let me show you this one. This is colored with the very same ink, the very same bow, but this one was so much easier to color. It turned out much more vibrant. It's the very same color ink. You know what makes the difference? I heat embossed this one. I stamped it with Versamark, and then I used a black embossing powder. And what the black embossing powder did, it allowed me a ridge to color in. And it allowed me to put more ink down. I'm sure that's the only difference. With this one, I was so cautious of going out of the line that I probably didn't put down as much ink. And look at the difference. I don't know about you, but I like that one. It's shiny because the black embossing powder, and I'm going to show y'all how to do that, and then I'm going to show you how I would use this on gift tags. We are approaching that time where we're going to start wrapping gifts, and I don't know if you buy your gifts and send them to your family wrapped with pretty bows and ribbons or with tags on them, or whether you do what so many of us are doing this year, get on Amazon and order your stuff and send it to mom and dad, and they'll open it for the grandkids and they have to wrap it. So I kind of copped out this year because my kids are all away from me. I live in North Carolina, and I have a daughter and a son-in-law in Florida. I have a daughter and a son-in-law in Virginia, and I have a son and a daughter-in-law in Michigan. So with everybody scattered here and there, I figured that I needed to just send gifts. But if you are doing things locally, if your family's local, I say hallelujah. But in this COVID world that we live in, I'm not going to be able to travel to see my kids this year. But with that being said, I do want to bring in one die set called North Pole Wonder, and we're going to use this tag right here. Look how stinking cute this tag is. And there's a couple of tags in this set. You have this round one, which is so stinking cute. And then you have this larger tag, and this is mostly what we think of tags when and they have the hole already where it will punch it out for you. So I thought, how cute would that be? I'm not too sure I wouldn't use this one with this one and tie a ribbon or a piece of twine in the middle. So we're going to play with that, but we're also going to play with this bow stamp set, gift wrapped. I want to show you first what I'm talking about with the heat embossing. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually do some heat embossing. I've got a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock right here. I've got my bow loaded up, and I'm going to do that same bow. I'm going to probably do it in a different color because I want you to know that these are not, even though it says gift wrapped, it doesn't say just Christmas. It's got Celebrate in Style, which could be for a birthday or a wedding. It has Wrapped Especially for You, another birthday, anniversary, baby shower, bridal shower. So I think this is a stamp set that we could get use out of all year long. And those are always like 2 punches for your money, so to speak. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use my little powder tool, and I'm going to powder this up really good. Get all my fingerprints off of that piece of paper. And I'm going to take out my coffee filter and sit it right there. I'm going to get my Versamark ink, and I am going to ink this up really, really super good. And I want to use my Stampin' Pierce mat because we're doing photopolymer. I'm being very careful picking that up because I don't want to get my fingerprints on it. Or paw prints, as I always told my kids. Get your paw prints off of that. Now I'm just going to let that sit on there, and I'm just going to give it a nice little rub while I'm holding it very sturdy, very steady, and not letting it rock or anything. And then I'm going to take this off. Beautiful, beautiful image. When you can see it that vibrant, that's a good image. I'm going to bring my coffee filter over. And y'all, I want you to know I have ordered some Stampin' Up embossing powder, so I will stop using the contraband. But for right now, I'm using what I got. I think my order, I don't know, it hasn't shipped yet. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sprinkle my black embossing powder all over that, and then I'm going to tap it just like that. That looks really pretty. So now I'm going to put my embossing powder back into my container. Just like that. I usually throw the ones with the black away because I'm so afraid of cross-contaminating. So anyway, we got that done. Now I'm going to bring out my heat tool, and we're going to heat this up for just a few minutes, and I'm going to silence y'all while I'm letting it heat. Right, we are back, and you can see that we have a very nice embossed image. Look at the sheen on that. Isn't that beautiful? Now I'm just going to fan it and let it cool just for a moment, and I want to decide what colors I want to use on this. And I'm actually thinking maybe a Highland Heather and a gorgeous grape. Do I have the grape? No, maybe they didn't do the grape in the alcohol markers, so we might have to regroup that. Let's see what we got here. I have Rich Razzleberry. I got Highland Heather. What colors do I want to use, y'all? What if we go with a Just Jade and a Rococo Rose? And I'm using the dark from both of these. This will give us more of a muted color. So let's try that. And I'm going to go in and do the Rococo Rose where I did the red. And I'm going to lay that one there so you can see it. I may even zoom y'all in a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing a little bit better. Like that. And we did have a little bit of the powder. I'll be glad when my Stampin' Up powders get here because I think they might be a better quality than what I'm using. But see how this, it holds you to that line, and you don't have to be as afraid of it bleeding over. Isn't that nice? And that, what made me think to try this was the simple fact that I had the bleeding on that first one that I did. And I grant you it wasn't really bad, but I thought there's got to be a better way. Now, if you didn't want the black line there, looks like I picked up a little bit of embossing powder that wasn't quite set right there. Be careful for that because you don't want to get your... I'm going to turn this on really quick. I'm not going to silence you. I'm just going to hit that one spot. The heat gun can be a bit noisy, but it is a necessity. I did pick up a little bit of that, so I cleaned my tip of my brush off over here because I don't want to contaminate my my little brush here, my alcohol marker. So I'm going to come right here in the middle. Trying to keep this in camera and yet still be able to do what I need to do. Sometimes that can be hard. I hate that this is showing that powder so bad. I didn't have that the first go round. Maybe I need to pull a different embossing powder. Now you could do this in clear. And if you did it in clear, it would be white, and you wouldn't have the black line. You'd have a white line, which would be gorgeous. I came back up on that one because it was muddled just a bit. So now I'm going to come in with the Just Jade, and I am going to just blend the color into those little places. And I just thought I just have to bring this technique and let y'all know that if you have this stamp set and this punch, this is a great way to color your bows and do them a lot faster, because it was very tedious putting the color in without any barrier. So I'm going to hold that right there just to hold it flat. But see how that gives you such a nice barrier so that you can color in without so much. I mean, you can still go outside the line, don't get me wrong, but it's so much easier doing it this way. And I think this is very, very pretty. Looks like a festive bow, don't you think? And there we go. Now if you wanted it to be a little darker, you could let it dry and then go back over it again. Totally up to you. I'm just going to fan it for a second before we come over to, let me clean the stamp off really quick. And love, love, love my Stampin' Scrub. But then I think y'all all know how much I think of my tools. They are the bomb. You know, you think about someone that does wood crafting that can only be as good as their equipment and their tools. Anybody that has a craft, you're only as good as the tools you use. And yes, a lot of things are done by hand that are gorgeous. But you know, they've got chisels and paintbrushes that are good quality, or they couldn't do the fine art that they do. So, you know, remember that when you're doing your craft, that your tools mean everything. So I'm going to punch, and because that's the heavy cardstock, you see how hard it was to punch through there? But you can punch it. These punches are so nice and sharp. And look at that. Now look at these two and this one. Now like I said, if you like this lighter look, you can heat emboss it in white or heat emboss it with clear. Clear, you won't even have the dark line that has. It'll look like it's floating. So just another idea of what you can do. And I think while we've got these bows here, we're going to do at least a couple, maybe 3 tags. How about that? We are going to do some tags. So I'm going to take this piece and I am going to cut this down the side where I can get at least 2 or 3 tags off of there. So I'm going to bring that to my trimmer, and I want to not waste, so I am going to measure this, and it looks like it's about 2 1/4 would do it. So 2 1/4. We'll lay that up there. And now this piece is big enough to cut this out of with very, very little waste. And that's what I like. So I'm going to take my die cut machine. Why don't we bring it over? And we might need the trimmer again in a minute, but that's okay. I'm going to bring the die cut machine over here. And I'm going to sit, let me zoom back out. Whoops, wrong way. There we go. And I am going to take this, I'm going to lay one plate over here. This doesn't give me a whole lot of space to work. That's one reason I like to do it off to the side. But every now and then I love for you to see the beauty of this die cut machine. So I've got my 1, 2, and 3 in, my number 1 plate, my number 2 plate, and a cutting plate, which is 3. And then I'm going to put another number 3 over top, and we're just going to crank that through. You see how easy that goes through? Now, the only reason that's wiggling is I don't have it. If I took this pad up that I've got it sitting on, this thing would grip to the table. But because I've got it sitting on my Stampin' Up grid paper, it's wiggling. But it's got beautiful feet on it that doesn't wiggle at all. Now let's take a look. Oh my goodness, look at this. I love that tag. Is that not gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous. I love the hole. Alright, so I'm going to cut 3 of these. Hopefully 3. If I can get 3 out of here. And I think I can. And there we go. We're going to put that in. Slide it up. And number 3 plate over top. And we're going to crank it through. You know what? I want to show y'all something. We're going to do the last one with this on the table and not on this mat. I don't think anybody ever has a full idea of just how wonderful this machine is. And look at this. I love the way it folds up. I can't wait to get the tiny one. It folds up. It's so compact. You can hold it in one hand. It's about 8 pounds, but it's just a wonderful, wonderful piece of workmanship. And I've got these little pieces that I put under here that I write things on. Okay, we're going to set this back here. We're going to fold it back out, and I'm going to show you the difference. Look how stable it is now. Alright, so let's put our plates back in. I'm going to take this one up and then move this down one more time. There's our second one. And let's see if we have room. Oh, phooey, maybe. Almost. We're going to make that work. I am going to make that work. And you might say, how in the world are you going to make something work then when there's not enough of paper? Well, we're going to give it a try. So I'm going to lay that in there and crank that. See what I mean? It's not moving now. The only reason it was wiggling is because it was on that pad that was sliding around under it. So there we go. And let's see if we got this tag. Yep, we sure did. Look at that. Haha. I don't think it got quite as deep of a footprint as this one. But look, we can still use that. Why not? Beautiful. Alrighty, and look at this piece of paper. No waste there, wouldn't you say? Oh my goodness. Alright, so I am going to take my, let's see if we can regroup my mess. Because y'all know I need my grid paper. And I am going to, this is one of those times when you need to be an octopus and you need about 8 arms, because I've got other plates sitting up here beside this. But you know what? I did it. Oh, okay. So, let's get that right there. Make sure I'm back in frame. And I'm going to scoop that under there. Never know what's up underneath my grid paper. Okay, we have 3 of these. This one, not quite as much of depth as these, but, you know, nobody's going to get the same 2 tags. So, I won't tell if you won't tell. So what I'm going to do now is I want to decorate these tags maybe with one of these bows. How cute is that? And maybe one of these. And I even have some of these other ones that were kind of an epic fail, but you know what? It looks cute on that tag, doesn't it? Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull out a Merry Christmas. And I think I'm going to use the one from the paper pumpkin for October, and it was the one called Joy to the World. I love that Merry Christmas. I think it will fit. If it doesn't, we might have to find something a little smaller. But let's try it. Oh yeah, too big. Alright, we'll regroup. How about Joy? We could put Joy on it. Oh, Joy would be beautiful. We'll do a little... Sorry about that, y'all. The minute a truck goes by, my baby boy just goes completely crazy. Oh, and a truck just went up the street and he had a hissy fit. I'm going to do a little flower on that one, Joy on this one. Let's see what else we've got on here. How about this one? We put Joy to the World. I love that. And see, when you get the paper pumpkin, you're also getting a stamp set that you can use over and over and over. So I think I'm going to do the Joy in real red and To the World in the shaded spruce, which will match that. This one, I want to do the flower in the Rococo Rose and the Just Jade. And now we need... Toby! Come, baby. Come on. It's okay. It's alright. He's so excitable. Bless him. We are going to take a stamp block and pick up our Joy, because I want Joy in red. And I'm going to bring this one over. Pick that up. And I want Joy. Oops. Come on. Work with me. And we're going to ink that up. And we're going to put Joy right about here. Very pretty. Working with all of this highly pigmented ink. My little Stampin' Scrub, what is it called? Stampin' Scrub. It is going to need a trip to the sink. But that's okay. That's the good thing about these things. They're washable. These pads come out. You take them to the sink, wash them with some soap and water, bring them back, let them dry, and it's ready to go again. So we got that done. And now we need the green ink under here. I think what I'm going to have to do with this stamp, I'm going to have to mark the top like this and know that that's the top. I think I might do that right now. Well, I'll do that after we get off the camera. Alright, let's find my shaded spruce. And I want Joy and then To the World to be right there. I love that, and that's so pretty. Okay, and I know that these two go back with my paper pumpkin, and we are going to use this right here. So I am going to put this on with just some liquid glue. For tags, I don't think you need dimensions. I mean, you can if you want to. I mean, you know, it's totally up to you. But packages usually get knocked around quite a bit, and I wouldn't want my tags to get knocked off. So I'm going to glue that right there. Just like so. Okay, I'm going to be right back to finish this up. My husband just got home. I need to go and help him bring some stuff in, and I'll be back and we will continue. Be right back. Okay, everybody, I went ahead off camera and I went ahead and colored this picture. I stamped a joy to the world. I punched a hole in the top of this little bow, and I attached it with double baker's twine. I like the baker's twine because this will be very easy to loop through a bow and tie it, and I think that just makes a really cute tag. Now this one I opted to glue my bow on, and I just stamped the joy to the world. Now we do need to turn them over and do a to and from. And let me see which stamp set has a to and from. And neither one of these do, so I know I've got stamp sets that have a to and a from. And like I said, this box right here are my, these are my, all of my Christmas stamps that I had pulled out so that I would have, you know, easy access to them. I was hoping that one of these that have just sentiments on it would be my ticket. Okay, this paper pumpkin, the one for November, has a to and from, and I may just use that. Yeah, let's just go ahead and use that because, you know, it's just a to and from. It doesn't have to be real fancy. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this. I think this will be sufficient. I love this that it's all on one stamp so you can stamp them at the same time. That's always a plus. So I'm going to grab my Momento ink and a little block to pick this up on. And all I'm going to do is come right here and do to and from. Isn't that nice? And the same thing with this one. And now our two tags are complete, along with the to and from. So, and you know, again, I could make a lot of tags, but I wanted to, the reason I came to you in this video today was to show you the difference between embossing and not embossing. How much easier it is to color. I'm sorry, I felt like I was going to sneeze. Sorry about that. But this was really a cute way to do quick tags, and it doesn't take any time at all. And I used a red and a red stitched ribbon. I think this came with the Playful Pet suite in our annual catalog. But it works great with our tags because look at that beautiful red and white. And I also, like I said, I love this baker's twine, and I did double that. I used a cherry cobbler, and the other one was just a beige color. And I know it has a name, but it leaves me at this point. On that note, I'm going to close this out, and again, I just wanted to show you how beautiful these bows can be and how much easier it is to color them when you are when you do the heat embossing. So I'm going to pull this down like this and zoom y'all in, and how pretty are those? So I hope you enjoyed this, and it will give you some inspiration for your tags, because hey, Christmas is a-coming and it's coming fast. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that this will give you some inspiration, and stay tuned, because I am in the process of moving my channel, and everything's going to go back over to Random Acts of Crafting, but it's going to be renamed the name that this channel has, which is Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. So be on the lookout for that. Just make sure that if you're only subscribed to this channel, that you go over and subscribe to the other channel, because that's very important. I love you all very much. God bless and keep you. And until we craft again, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Bye-bye.